Hello, my name is Ant and you're watching Survive the Night, and in this episode we've got Charlie out with us. His first day camp of 2022, and he looks a little bit like some character out of DayZ, doesn't he? He's all equipped and ready to go for some sort of zombie apocalypse. So yeah, what do you reckon?
Yeah.
So as you can see, we're out today and we're under the British Army Basher. Now this is part of the kit that I'm going to be using in this video, and the video is going to be basically a budget bushcrafting wild camp. So for all you guys out there who are thinking about your first camp and your first bushcraft camp, well, this hopefully will give you an insight as to what you need and keeping it literally on the budget level. So if you're out with your kids and you want to keep all the costs down, hopefully this video will help you out. So we're not going to keep this basher set up, we're going to go for more of a roof effect. The reason being is we've brought the Dutch Army tent down there, which is notorious for leaking. If you want to have a look at that tent in a little bit more detail, I'll put a little link up just around the top area there, and you can have a look at a more in-depth look at that tent. But yeah, it is a good winter tent though. If it's a cold day and it's not forecast raining, you don't need this basher. But if it is, I would bring the basher out. Everything in this video is at budget price. It's all, well, a lot of it is ex-military stuff, which is cheap. The only problem is it can be quite heavy and cumbersome, but it does keep the cost down. So that is the reason why I'm featuring a tab as well as this tent, because they're both quite cheap. So first up, we're going to do the sleep system. The sleep system consists of a nice reflective mat. Now you can go to town on these and spend quite a bit on them. This is literally a cheap one from Asda, which is basically a windscreen cover, but it does just exactly the same thing. It's a lot thinner, but a lot cheaper as well. So that is going to radiate heat up from your body and keep you off the floor, the cold floor. The sleeping mat that I've got, this was purchased from Lidl way back when, actually, a good few years ago now. We got two of these, one for me, one for Charlie, but they are cheap. They were about £17, something like that, I think. Rings a bell. But the best time to get them is in the spring months. If you can pick up spring and summer, that's when they come into play over in Lidl. That's when all the camping gear's out. They can be a little bit hard to put down, to take all the air out of and get it back into its sack. But you can always swap that out for a dry sack if you wanted to. So next up is the sleeping bag. Now this sleeping bag was featured in quite a few of my earlier videos when I was winter camping, believe it or not, in this tent. But I've got to laugh at this. This is why they're so cheap. So this is from Tesco, and it's a mummy sleeping bag, and it is a winter, well, I'm saying it's a winter bag. It's a 3 seasons bag really. But we're gonna buff it out, and I'll show you what to do with that to make you warmer, and hopefully have a better comfort rating than this. So the comfort rating is 0.6 Celsius. So that's your comfort rating on that. Now the extreme rating, this is why we've had a laugh about it. The extreme rating is 14.5 Celsius. So whether it's meant to have a minus in between that is beyond me, and it always has been. But trust me, if you just took this out, you would not survive the night. They're not the best, but they're cheap and they're doable with the system that we're going to use. So next up, you've got a little bit of comfort. You've got a pillow. You don't actually need a pillow. You can actually use a stuff sack or your rucksack. if you're taking extra kit, extra clothing, your pants, if you're taking your pants off, which you should be doing when you're in a sleeping bag anyway, is take your pants off and get in there for your body heat. But I like a pillow anyway, and these are only cheap. You can pick these up at Sports Direct. All the kit that's featured in this video will be listed below, along with the prices, where I can find them. I mean, I've had quite a bit of this kit now for quite some years, so I'll put an alternative down if I can't find that specific one. But yeah, all the prices will be below in the description for you. So yeah, you can pick this up at Sports Direct, pretty cheap, and it is just a nice little comfort thing if you wanted it. So it's got two different sides to it, a comfort one, and then you've also got more of a sweat-proof, waterproofish one for that side as well. This is the reason why that sleeping bag, you will survive the night. It's a wool blanket. Now, you've seen in my recent videos, I've got a house wool blanket, which is absolutely piping hot. It's kept me warm, so warm. But this is a budget video, so this is one that we've got from a second-hand store, basically. If you live in the US, a thrift store, and literally pounds, a couple of quid, if that, and totally wool, not synthetic at all. It's a full wool blanket, and yeah, the only downside is they smell a little bit of old people when you first get them. So what you've got to do is stick it in the washer and make sure you get rid of the TCP smell. But yeah, they're ideal. So head down to your local second-hand store and see what they've got in. Just ask for a nice wool blanket, 100% wool if you can get it. Right, so that is it. That is the full sleep system there, the winter sleep system. You definitely need the wool blanket though. You won't, like I say, you won't last the night out. Well, you will do in this country, but you'll be cold. So I would definitely recommend you get a wool blanket, and you can pop it over the top of the 3 Seasons bag, and you'll be toasty warm. Right, so onto the cookware now. Now, in this section, there is a lot of items on here that you won't actually need to bring with you on this budget camp. But there are a few luxuries. I've got hold of things such as my spatulas. I've made these, my spoon. I've made these out of wood myself, carved them up, and I've also been kind enough to be given items like this amazing bowl by Matty. So no cost there to me. Such items like the butter holder, you don't really need them, but it is a nice little luxury item to bring. They are also very cheap as well. You're looking at about £9 off eBay. These, they're a German brand, and I think this was made in the 1960s. So it's made out of aluminium, but it has also got a plastic coating inside to hold the butter in place, and it keeps it really cool. But as I say, you don't need it. I've also got my coffee and coffee whitener in these little plastic holders. You can purchase those from a pound shop, literally next to nothing. And you do need a spork. I mean, you can go for the cheaper option and pay for a plastic one, but they don't tend to last that long. I've had a few that have snapped on me in my bag and things like that. So I'll probably go for a titanium spork or something like that. They're a little bit more expensive, but it will last you a lifetime. And the main item that I want to show you with regards to utensils is an open all knife. Now these, you can purchase these from Go Outdoors, and this is the smallest size, which is I think a 6. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it is a 6, and you can pick these up for less than £10. They're ideal, and they're so very sharp. So they're great for cutting your food up, food prep. And yeah, I mean, I've got a little egg holder. This was £2 off AliExpress, so you can pick something like that up. Next to nothing, £2, ideal. You've got to wait about 6 months for it to come from AliExpress, but you know. But there again, you don't. It's an item that you don't need. But I like my eggs uncracked. Right, so we're actually onto the cook system that I'm going to show you now. So the first item in the cookware is going to be this little gem. Now I've had this for quite some years. You'll have seen it on a lot of my videos if you've been following us for quite some time. This was purchased off AliExpress and is next to nothing. You're probably talking just over £10 if that. I think they're a little bit cheaper now. So this is a kettle stroke cooking pot. It has never failed me. It is stainless steel. It's got a little strainer there and also a little spout, and you've also got a handle if you want to do a tripod fire. You can have it boiling over the fire that way, or you can just use the handles and pop it into the coals and get yourself a nice brew or a nice stew going as well. It's a decent sized pot, and yeah, it's been on many camps, that one with me. So next up is the stainless steel wood burning stove, and these are a little gem. Not quite your pocket size, but still quite small and light as well. They'll fit into your backpack and they fall flat straight down in the back of your backpack. There's no problem, there's no issue carrying them. And yeah, they are dirt cheap again. All the prices will be below in the description, as I have said. So yeah, that's the wood burning stove there for you. That's made by Lixada, that one. And finally, you want something for the morning. The last thing that you want to be doing is scratching around when you want your first brew of the day. So I always bring out this little pocket stove, and that is another AliExpress buy. That was purchased a good while ago and is lasted quite some years. We bought it for Charlie actually, but I still take it out on my camps now. And that were about £4. So you can't beat it in quality and price. It's got its own little injector that you can actually start it with. First time click, you know, that's not been started for quite some time, but first time click with her. So that is perfect, as I say, for your morning brews, just when you wake up and you've not come round to gather some wood to get it onto your wood burning stove to make the breakfast yet, but you can get your first brew going with ease with that. Right, okay, now onto the bushcraft section. So these items here are pretty darn dirt cheap actually, I don't mind saying so myself. The most expensive item probably is your Laplander saw. This is your first item what I'm going to show you. So I've had in the past, I've picked up the little ones from Asda and the garden section at Asda, or wherever you, like a range or something like that, and they're about £7, but they don't last. The blade just goes, it snaps, and it goes blunt pretty fast. But this Laplander saw is an excellent tool. I got this for Christmas off the boys a good few years ago now, I think, and I'm still on the same blade. So I think they're around about, I don't want to say, the price will be below, like I say, and that's probably the most expensive part of this bushcrafting kit that I've got there. So that's a Laplander saw, awesome bit of kit. Next up, this is a must. This is absolutely ideal, and that's the Mora knife. Dirt cheap again. I think that's around about £12, something like that, for a Mora knife, but that is sharp as anything. I have resharpened it a few times as I've blunt it on a few of me adventures, but they are easy to sharpen as well, which is a surprise. Not great for battening. It's quite a bit small for battening. Depends on what size pieces of wood you're looking at. If you're wanting to make a campfire, I probably wouldn't recommend this size. You can get the bigger bushcrafting Moras, but the price goes up. That's the only issue. But with this little stove here, there's no issues with that. Next up, we've got the axe with the Slazenger sock cover. Now that's keeping it really budget. So yeah, I haven't managed to get a hack's head holder for it, so I'm using one of Charlie's smelly Slazenger socks. Yeah, so there you go. That's been used for quite some time and not washed. So yeah, this is the axe. Now this axe was purchased off Amazon, I think, and it cost me literally £7. I think they're even cheaper now. But yeah, you don't have to pay a lot for an axe. It does what it says it does. It axes things up. Is that a thing? I don't know, but I have sharpened it myself, and it keeps a nice edge on it. It is quite sharp, that. I wouldn't say it's as sharp as some of the axes that I've seen in videos, such as Rick T's axe. That is immensely sharp. I couldn't run that down my arm and cut the hairs off my arm, but it does the trick. And for things with the wood stove, for pieces of wood that you are going to be chopping, you don't need an amazing axe for anyway. But yeah, that is a decent cheap axe. So next up is the fire starting kit, and in here I've purchased a couple of items in here, such as the ferrocerium rod. Now this one is a nice thick large rod, and that is about £9 off eBay. I found a really good site for those now. They are quite expensive in some of the sites, but yeah, that's about £9 off eBay. And we've got an antler holder, and yeah, so that's the ferrocerium rod there. And we've also got this beauty, which was gifted to me by Lost Lakes. So thank you so much, guys, over at Lost Lakes. This was, as I say, gifted for the canoe trip, and the guys over there said basically we'll send you one if you put a donation into the Alzheimer's Society page. Then we'll send that over cost free. So that's what they did. So thank you guys over there. I would also recommend just getting a pair of work gloves as well. Now these are leather work gloves. I spent probably over the odds for these off eBay again, and they've ripped, but they are ideal for doing jobs around camp. They keep your hands clean, and they protect your hands as well. So these are a leather pair. You can purchase other workwear gloves from your local hardware store that are cheaper and would do the job just as good. But as I say, leather, it is good for handling hot utensils as well, and messing around with your pocket stoves and things like that. So yeah, I would recommend some gloves also. While you're out bushcraft wild camping, you're going to need one of these, which is your first aid kit. Now, depending on what type of environment you're in, what you're doing, you should always have a first aid kit with you anyway. That's got a load of plasters in it, a load of creams. We've got some Gorilla Tape in there as well to basically strap you up if need be. And yeah, that's my basic bushcrafting first aid kit.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. You miss the ones you know. I'll be here, hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our minds to turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, gone. river's gonna cry when you're, the river's gonna cry when you're gone. Hoping you would stay, but I've always known that you would go and find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, to feel the wind and watch the river run. And the sun would always shine when we sat there, you and I. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone.
Well, that is pretty much it, guys. That's the budget bushcraft wow camp for you. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions about any of the items that I've brought down to camp today, if you put it in the description, in the comments below, and I'll certainly get back to you on it. As I say, everything should hopefully, fingers crossed, be listed in there, and you can have a good look through it and see what you think. And we'll get an overall price as well for the budget camper, and also for dads, mums who want to take the kids out and do their first bushcrafting wild camp. That's my aim anyway, is to keep it as low as possible, the costings, and fingers crossed get more of you guys out there experiencing our great outdoors. So that is a decent egg sandwich, really nice, and we'll enjoy that now. Just before I do, I just want to say thank you so much to Charlie for coming out with us again. You don't often see him nowadays, now that he's at the big 1-3. He's more interested in staying at home and playing on his Xbox. I don't know why you've got all this, Charlie, what's going on? But no, he does enjoy it when he comes out. So yeah, thanks pal for coming. And I want to thank you guys for watching so far. Hope you've learned something, especially you guys who are new to bushcrafting and wild camping, and also want to get the kids involved as well. Thank you for watching, and if you could possibly share this video if you think people will be interested in it, if you could pass that over, it really does help the channel out. And also if you could give thumbs up, and each and every comment below, I will answer that. If you've got any questions about the gear, please put it down there and I'll get straight back to you. And also, don't know whether you guys are aware, I've got an Instagram channel as well, which is Ant Survive the Night. So it's Ant_survive_ blah 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 survive the night. And yeah, you'll find me on there. There's lots of pictures of the camps that we do and things like that. So hopefully you'll give us a follow on that one. Well, thank you so much from me and Charlie. Awesome man, give us a high five. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.